Hi everybody, it's Nat and today I'm here with another fun video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 10 of my unexpected favorite books. So these are all going to be books that I really love, but when I went into them I was not expecting to love them as much as I did. Now a few of these I was expecting to like, but I was not, who goes into a book not expecting to like it? But most of them I just absolutely love, and I did not expect to have this depth of feelings for them. But I've seen this video going around and it looks like so much fun, so I thought I would go ahead and share these books with you today. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get into the video. And as always, these are not in any particular order, except that this one might be the most unexpected. It isn't my favorite out of what I'm showing you today, but I think it is the most unexpected, if that makes sense, and that is Plus One by Elizabeth Fama. I've talked about this book, not a lot, but a bit, and this really was the most unexpected favorite that I have had. I just picked this book up. I just wanted like a nice quick read. I mean, it sounded good, obviously, but I wasn't really expecting anything from it, and I literally just fell in love with this book. One of my favorites, honestly. I just think it is so unique, so different from your typical YA novel. It's just seriously so good. I love the characters, I love the plot, I love the ending, literally everything about this I'm obsessed with. I actually have a reading vlog up where I just gush about this book, but you guys should definitely check it out. Pretty much it's a dystopian about how the world is divided into day and night, so half the population lives during the day and sleeps at night, and the other half lives during the night and sleeps during the day, and it's about this girl who kind of challenges that. But I literally love this book so much, and everybody should read it. The next book I'm going to share with you shouldn't be a surprise because I have talked about how I wasn't expecting to love it as much as I did quite often, but that is the Thousand Floor series by Katharine McGee. I absolutely love this series, and again, I was not expecting to. I remember when I first heard about this book, I watched it in there was a sponsored video about it that I watched, and I was not into it. I thought it sounded kind of stupid. I just was not for me. And then randomly one day at the bookstore I saw it and I was like, maybe. And so I picked it up, I read the description, I was like, why not? I think it was on sale or something, so it was really cheap, and so I got it, and then I read it, and then I literally fell in love. The second one came out one of the day before I finished the book, and I ordered it right away, read it right away. Now I have to wait a whole other year before the next one comes out. But I literally love this series so much. I think it kind of reminds me of Gossip Girl, which I think maybe that's why I like it so much. But it's seriously so good. I love the characters, I love the drama, just everything about it is amazing. Alright, the next series that I'm going to share with you is actually my favorite trilogy of all time. And again, I was not expecting to love it that much, but this was Partials by Dan Wells, and I mean, of course it sounded good, but I picked it up and I just was shocked by how much I loved this series. I literally could not put this book down. I mentioned this before, but I loved the science behind it, and I just thought it was so intriguing, so fascinating, again, so unique. I mean, I personally haven't read many novels like it, so I adore this book. I really want to reread it because I claim it's my favorite novel, or my favorite trilogy, but I've only read it once, so I'm I need to reread this. But yeah, I seriously love this trilogy so much. It's so amazing. I mean, all of these are amazing. But pretty much this is about kind of this futuristic, again, dystopian, futuristic world where they have perfected artificial intelligence, and so there's partial humans who are artificially intelligent but who aren't actually humans, and it's just kind of about the differences and bad things that happen between the partials and the humans that are left over, and it's very apocalyptic and just seriously amazing. Alright, next up I have the Queen of the Tealing trilogy by Erica Johansson, and again, I was not expecting to love this one as much as I did. I knew I was gonna like it because I really love medieval royalty, all of that type of stuff, but I had heard it was super slow, and I'm normally not a fan of slow books. Normally I just can't with slow books. And so I was blown away by how engrossed I was with this. I don't think I would describe it as, I mean, it's been a while since I read it, but I don't think I would describe it as what's the word? Slow. As slow. I just love this book. I love the second one. I still have to read the third one, but they are just so amazing. They're about a queen who has been in hiding and comes to power and has to deal with her new nation and kind of how it's been left to her, and not in a good state, might I add. And there's some magic involved and another evil queen, and it is seriously so amazing. And can we talk about this cover? Next up, I have another dystopian, and that is Breathe by Sarah Crossan. Again, pretty similar to Plus One. I just went into this wanting, because I love dystopian. Honestly, like that and fantasy are kind of my favorite two, or not kind of, they are my favorite two genres. And so I just wanted to read a dystopian. So I went into this, but I love the premise of it. I mean, it is your classic dystopian, but I just loved the premise of it. I loved the writing, the characters, the world. Insanely intrigued me. Like, I'm so intrigued by this world. I think it's crazy. If there ever is like a nuclear war, I could definitely see this happening. But yeah, very good one. Pretty much it's about this society where like the outside air isn't clean to breathe, so everyone lives under a bubble and there's a corrupt government, of course, but it's seriously so amazing. Alright, and next up I have a series that I've been talking a lot about lately, but that is Pendragon by DJ McHale, and this is kind of a two-part story. So my husband actually recommended this series to me. This is one of his favorite childhood reads, and I kind of read it in two parts. I read the first 6 like pretty much back to back, and then I read the last 4 definitely back to back. And so the first time I picked it up, I was again surprised at how much I really enjoyed it. Like, of course I was going to read it because he doesn't read a whole ton, so anything he recommends, I'm like, yeah, I'll read it. But I really did love it, and I know if I had like read it when I was little, like younger, I would have been obsessed with this book. So I was surprised at how much I loved it the first time. But then, probably 2 months ago, I picked it up, the series, again from where I had left off, and I was just floored at how sucked into the novel I got. I literally could not put it down, and from them on, like probably like for a month, all I did, I mean that's kind of a long time, maybe not a month, but like pretty much any of my free time was spent reading Pendragon, just like engrossed in this world. It is so amazing, especially for a middle grade novel. I feel like it's so adult for a middle grade, if that makes sense. There's just so much to it, and it's not just like all flowers and niceness, and I mean middle grade novels aren't that, but I feel like a lot of bad things happen. I feel like it's kind of like Harry Potter, like it's real. Like, I mean, neither of them are real, but like it deals with real things. It's not like everything obviously is going to be okay in the end, that kind of story, if that makes sense. But yeah, you guys know my feelings on Pendragon. Absolutely amazing. Next up is another book that is super close to my heart, and that is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. And I knew I was going to really enjoy this book. I had heard that it was phenomenal by so many people, so I knew I was going to obviously love it from like a reader's perspective, but I didn't know too much about it, and what I had heard, it was like video games, and I do really enjoy certain video games. Like in some respects I call myself like a video gamer, but like in the larger grand scheme of things, like when I look at like people who are actually video gamers, I'm like, yeah, that's not me. So I mean, I thought I was going to like this because I heard it was so good, but I love this book. It's seriously probably one of my top 10 favorite books. The movie's coming out and I'm like dying for it. Like, I need that movie now, and I am going to reread this soon, and I'm just so in love. This is one of the best told stories I have ever read, and I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard a lot about this, but if you have not read it, read it, because literally one of the best books in the world. Okay, I think this next series might actually be the biggest shock of this whole video, and that is the Warrior series by Aaron Hunter. Now, this is not the first book in the series. This is the first book in the second series of like the entire Warriors, but I actually had to start this book twice. So if you guys have been following my channel, you know that Warriors is like one of my absolute favorite series. It is like my childhood series, one of the first series that really got me into reading. I absolutely am obsessed with it, but most of you probably didn't know that, yeah, I DNF'd this book at one point. I mean, I was young, and I don't know, I just didn't like it the first time I read it, so I started it and I was like, I don't like this, and so I put it down. Probably maybe like a year later, I remember I was about to give it away because I wasn't gonna read it, and then I was like, well, because my cousin was like, her entire world was this series, and so I was about to give it away, and I was like, I'll just read it one more time, and literally I like sat and read this whole book like in one go. But yeah, I just think it's crazy, like my world has been shaped by Warriors. I'm like, I almost gave away this book, like what? Right, next up is one of the few classics I've actually read, and that is Beloved by Toni Morrison, and quite honestly, I don't read classics. The only time I really have read them was like for school, and again this one was for school. Yes, I had to read this for one of my college classes, and I mean, I have nothing against classics. Like, I read a lot that I have enjoyed. It's just not something that I normally like go to pick up. But I love this book so much. I actually had to hold myself back from reading more so that I like would stay with the class and not like have read ahead of them, and I love this. I'm one of the few people who is a Denver fan. As I haven't really talked to you about this, but my professor was telling me like nobody likes Denver except like there's always one person in the class who likes Denver and then everybody else that doesn't like her. Well, I was that one person. I really liked Denver, and I just loved how creepy and just like into your soul this book got. Alright, and last but not least, I have The Slow Guard of Silent Things by Patrick Rothfuss, and this is kind of a spin-off novella from the Name of the Wind series of his. Now, I absolutely love The Name of the Wind, so I really wanted to read this, and I did think I would like it because this book follows Ari, and she's one of my favorite characters in that series, but I quite honestly heard very bad reviews of this. There's no plot, pretty much, but I still loved it, and I think it's just because I love Ari. I loved reading, like, how her brain thought and, like, how the world made sense to her, and I just thought this was a magical read, even though, like, it really isn't a story. It's just you're just following someone. There's no plot, really, but I absolutely love this series, and I really wanted to read it just because I liked Ari, but after hearing all the bad reviews, I was like, it's not gonna be that good. I just want to read it because I like Ari. But I did. I loved this book. It was very good. I won't say it's one of my favorite books, but I definitely liked it much more than I expected to. But alright, I think that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below any unexpected favorite books that you guys have. I would love to know, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!